Good morning on this rainy day. It was about 70 this morning when I was walking my little dogs, because they tell me if I'm going to leave extra early that I need to take them for a walk. We're live every Thursday morning with Sue and Lori. We tell you about new stuff. We try to throw education in. I wear Betsy and Christy and Jill out the week before and the week following up to Wednesday, because we always have a lot to tell you and a lot to share with you. Yes, we want to sell you stuff online, but we want to educate you why you need to shop at the Sewing Gallery versus the other stores. I mean, I just think we're swell, and it's because we work so hard continuing our education to give you more each week, whether it's a new product, a new fabric, something that you already do. Today we're going to talk about borders. It'll be our last segment of our Facebook Live this morning, because I think it's important. And don't forget, if you are not signed up, somebody's getting this free next week. We ship it to you at no charge. We try to keep the sample or whatever we're giving away where we can ship it easy, even when we're shipping it to, where was it, Scotland? Somewhere, Ireland. Ireland. So, yay for that lady and whoever wins, but if it's local, you can come in and pick it up. But please register, give us your name, your birth date, and we're not asking for driver's license. I was at the dentist office this past week, and I checked in, and he says, we need a copy of your driver's license. And I said, absolutely not for a dentist office. And I'm just funny about that. So we're not asking you for anything like that. Needless to say, by the end of that short and sweet conversation, he didn't get a copy of my driver's license, because your driver's license gives a lot of your private personal information out, and I ain't got anything to hide, but I don't want yours and I don't want to give mine. So we're just asking for your birth date, and we're asking for your name and your email. So sign up. We'd love to send you this if you're the winner, so we wanted to share it with you. Now we've got a couple more weeks of the Queen Bee group. This is our February design. Now how this works, and maybe I was a little lost through the process. When you sign up with us, you have an account with Kimberbell, and we purchase your design with your name and your email. Then when you open up, they send you an email to get your download. Did you know that? So, yay for y'all. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't, and I own a trophy in that. But if you buy the year, we go all the way back to January so that you can have them all. So this is February's. This is next month's. It's a cute mud rug. It comes with pink leather. With our kit, it runs $8. It gives you all the fabrics. This is one of Kimberbell's floral type from this past year that they've put in it. But mud rugs are cute. They're fun to do. And this is just fabric on the side of these two. And of course it says Happy Easter. And if you've got a friend and Easter's a hard time, sometimes it is for families if you've just lost one. I always talk about those kind of things, because you can bring so much sunshine and happiness to someone if you give them something like this, because it tells them that you're thinking about them. Now, I know that there's some of you out here that's selfish. It only wants to make it for you. And if that's who you are, we're okay with that too. So we wanted to share it with you that this is next month's design. Or if you don't want to become a member with our awesome group, you can purchase these $10 a piece. You just get online. We've made it easy. Mary has. Oh, Mary's having a little boy. Yay!
Yay!
And Mary is only 33 years old. So she's not mine and Lori's age, but like I told her on the phone when she told me all this, I said, in West Virginia, if you have any affiliation with us, you become our family, you become our friend. And the same thing holds in our store. Once we get to know you, you're just part of the family. That's the way it is in West Virginia. We care about you once we get to know you. And then if we don't know you well, we try to get to know you so that we can care about you. But Mary's having a boy, and we're excited for Miss Mary. Yay for Mary.
Yay, Mary.
And says she's gonna work and work and work, and so we're excited she's gonna work and work. And we got some new products in. Filigree Jelly Roll is in. It's got beautiful grays. I guess this one would be the one. You want to come closer? My sidekick in crime. You see there's a lot of grays in, I would call that a yellow rod. You got some basic off-whites to go with this. You got some blacks. It's real pretty. It's modern, but I love modern, so we got it in the jelly rolls and the layer cakes. I don't think we have any yardage yet. We have this pretty stateside fabric. You know, it's American colors, red, white, and blue. And if you've ever watched me on Facebook Live, you know I love my country. I love God, and I love my family, and I love my friends, but I love America. And I always try to keep some different red, white, and blue in stock because a lot of folks do quilts for veterans. So this is an inexpensive way by using the charm packs to do it. And then if you want to go a little bit above that, we've also got it in the jelly rolls. So I try to keep a variety of different things in the red, white, and blue. And then we have, from Quilting Treasures, we have a 12 fat quarter red, white, and blue that you can make a quilt in. And this is one of the products that we have at 25% off today, our weekly deal. And then we also have our, I swear I can move, this nice pink iron. It's on sale with 25% off. What makes these irons so great? I love Rowenta, but in a sewing store or sewing, leaving them on 8 to 12 hours, or if you're a big sewer, it's not good for that. You should have two irons, one for your clothes ironing if you're one of them, and I am. My sweaters and everything is always ironed, but this for quilting because it pops up when you are not in use with it, and it's a wonderful iron, and it gets hot. And I will be coming back to talk about the ironing later in the segment this morning. But this is you an opportunity if your iron is on its last leg, or you've went to the large box store and bought a $50 iron. It's not going to hold up to quilting, I promise. If you iron the way that you're supposed to, those irons just don't do the job. And it's not a selling point, it's a fact. So we've got these at 25% off to give people an opportunity. And then I brought these mats in. Everybody's probably seen them. This is the 17 by 17. It's a large mat. Well, I put this one on top of my ironing board, especially if I'm pressing seams, because the wool gets hot and it flattens your surface, your quilting pieces or your quilt better. The flatter your quilt is, the better outcome with the quilting. And of course, we're going to talk about borders today, and some of you probably have just done it the same way, and I'm not judging on that end because I was one of those until we've gotten really deep into these teaching classes, because I try to give everybody everything possible in a class. But these wool mats are nice to have, and at 25% off, these are regularly $39.99, so I'm trying to give you a nice deal for these things because these are two items that is important, especially with your borders, the pressing, the ironing that we'll be talking about. So everything dovetails into what we're teaching each and every week. And I wanted to show you what's got in yesterday. Of course, I had to call one of my friends, Virginia Bragg, because she was so concerned she wasn't going to get it. And I said, I promise you. So I'm checking out and going as fast as I can. This is the new Kimberbell fabric kit, which we have all the fabrics in stock that Lori has to put in today. There's over 30 bolts of fabric. But if you look at this fabric kit, you can do 8 projects from this fabric. All of this fabric. I don't know what the yardage is at this point, but they're beautiful colors and you get tons of fabric. This runs $114.95, but it's enough to do 8 projects. And what else we wanted to show you is, you know, we wouldn't want Jill to outdo herself with this. Look at another project. Is that cute? Lori, zoom in so that they can see what Jill outdid herself with. Is that not darling? You know, and you can put this in your room or give it to a friend. So that is beautiful. And I asked Jill, I said, Jill, I really need to show these pillow forms, the covers off, because and we don't have the right size in, but we will today because we just got the 18 by 18s back in stock. But I wanted to show this off, and I said do something creative to really show what you can do with these pillow covers. They're beautiful. We've got them in blue and we've got them in this beige color with 2 different designs, so you can check them out on our website. But is this not cute? Let me put it up there for everyone to see. But these 2 projects are 2 things that is in this. So, and if you look at it, and you know, I say it every week, Kim at Kimberbell she just keeps going. She just keeps going, and we try to keep up with them. So that's who we are. So we want to give you the very best. We want to tell you something before we go into the border. So we hope that you will get online, and this was another thing that Jill made from this. So I mean, it just keeps going on and on. So you get, with the fabric cut of this new collection of Kimberbell, also delightful, you get 8 projects. So you know, if you're not interested in making this beautiful wall hanging, just make the sewing machine. So we're real excited for projects to come in, and post them on our Facebook page so that we can honor you. Please, we want to see your work. I want to tell you, you know, some people says, you know, I don't really quilt, or I do everything on my own. Well, the benefits of quilting is it's a sense of accomplishment. It's a stress reliever as long as you're not doing something hard. It gives you relaxation. This is from Kirsty Puckett that said, I needed to tell this on Facebook. It lowers your heart rate because you just kind of get in a zone. At least I do. It also lets you be creative. Christy, Betsy, and myself is all the time talking about something new that we need to try, whether it's in our Weight Watcher program, because we're always on the hunt for a new product that's 0 points, and we're always on the hunt in here for something new, a new gadget, and Betsy's a gadget. And you leave a legacy if you're a good quilter. So that's another benefit. And the social interaction. You know, folks, COVID's over. It's with us to stay. So, we filled up a class last week and this week, so, we want to mention to you we've got some classes coming. And you learn about the history, whether it's the railroad. Back in the day with slavery, they hung a quilt for direction or to let people to know what was going on, if it was safe passage. So those are just a few of things, the benefit of quilting. So if it helps your health and you don't have to make any effort and you get to enjoy it, you need to do so if you're not a quilter at this point. I want to mention back to the 5 golden rules of quilting. Always test your 1/4 inch seam allowance before you start. The iron is your friend. That's why I wanted to say that I was coming back to that. Check your work as you go. Don't wait until you're finished and then try to press out the quilt. You're going to have a disaster, right, Lori?
Yes,
and Lori
press
would
as
never
you go.
do that. And it's just like in contracting. Measure twice, cut once. Use the best quality fabric that you can afford. And I told all that because of you, Puckett, this morning. And I thank you for doing that, because I'm going to get Mary to put the benefits of quilting on her website and 5 golden rules of quilting. So if you've got that husband that tells you what to do, you need to show him the list of the benefits of quilting. And then the golden rules is for you, so that you know how important the pressing is, your seam allowance, because we're going to talk about borders after I show you a few of the 30 bolts that Lori has to put in this morning. We haven't got them in yet. Look how pretty. This is one. She picked the ones that I'm showing you, so if you don't like them, it's her. It's not Sue. So you see how pretty they are and how they coordinate.
It's hard to pick out of 30 bolts. I would like. I'd like to show you them all.
Well, we can't. I can't hold them all up at one time, Lori.
That's
but
why.
Look how pretty. So
they are beautiful fabrics.
And if you don't feel like you want to buy the kit to do all 8 projects, you just need to get online after Lori gets them in and do so. So we're excited for this new 30-piece collection from Kimberbell that just keeps on giving. And if you notice, it keeps on giving. So later on this afternoon, Lori should have all the fabrics in. We wanted to talk to you about these things called borders. Borders are as important as the quilt that the finishing of it. And some people, Jill looked at me like I was crazy yesterday, because she's very consistent with her seam allowance. It's just second nature to Jill. But when people are starting out quilting, and it's just hard when you get to the borders, because and I guess this is personal too, because the quilt gets so big. You see I've got it folded up, this one that we're picking out borders, but it worked out great. So you would cut your pieces 3 inches. We'll probably do a 2-inch for the first border on this quilt, and then we'll do a 3-inch or 5-inch. I don't know. But when you are piecing, sometimes your husband hollers at you, the dog needs to go out, and so you quit sewing, or you come back and you're sewing and you got a headache, or you're not in the mood. Sometimes your seams become inconsistent. There's multiple reasons. So with that, when you get your quilt top put together before you put your borders on, you're going to go and measure from end to end like this. And I have measured this, and it's 65 and a half on this side, and then on this side it's 65 and a fourth. Now, what creates that is your inconsistency with your seam allowance. And, if you're perfect, don't watch my border segment today. Because this one is 65 1/4. So we're working with a 1/2 and a 1/4. So when I cut the borders, I'm going to cut in between 65 and a 1/4. And then what's going to happen on the one side, or I'm going to cut it to fit. We should be okay, but with this, in this situation, we had, I think there was 3 of us sewing on this quilt. So, everybody's 1/4 allowance is a little different. And they say it's true on machines. So, I just hop on a machine and try to make it happen if I'm putting something together. So when that happens, the difference. Now, if you get more than a 1/2 an inch, you're kind of in trouble. And what do? Well, if it's a 1/2 an inch, I would suggest maybe you look at your blocks and see if you can take them apart and see the ones that you were so radically inconsistent with your allowance. You find your center. We're pretending we've cut our borders, and you find the center of your border. You put it here, you put a pin, you pin it on, then you go to your right end and pin it, then you go to your left end. Now, you're going to have a little bit of fullness somewhere. So what you want to do is work it out and pin it. Pinning is important with borders, just for the consistency of it going on correctly and you not ending up with fullness. And then you proceed to do this, repeat the same steps for your top and bottom. I always like to put the sides on first. Do you?
I do sides and top and bottom.
Yeah. It's just, I guess, who we are. What happens, if you don't check? And it gives you also a wake-up call with your consistency with your 1/4 inch seam allowance, because that's what causes your borders to be wonky. Like I said, wonky is not good, but if you start doing these steps that we're talking about this morning, which we will be getting Mary to put on just as a reference point, just simple things we say, it's going to be stated like this. Measure it on a flat surface. Measure sides should not be more than 1/4 of an inch. Measure again if right, put your borders on. Pin the center, do the average at the end and at the bottom, so you'll know what to do. If you have fullness, sometimes you can stretch it a little once you find your center, put it on the 2 ends and work that in. Now, Lori made the comment when we were talking about this, that when in between both ends, she even finds the center again and puts another pin in between the end and center of the left and of the right. So that's something to think about. But if you've never pinned or measured, and I love these, so if you're there at home by yourself, you can put it on the end of a flat surface and put a weight of some sort. A jelly roll will hold it with the weight of them, and measure. See if it doesn't improve. And why it's important that your borders go on right, even though you're tired of the quilt at this point, because most of you make what I call the Mississippi quilt. That's a queen to a king. And it's longer than my arms. If you don't, and you get your borders wrong on the top, sides, or bottom, what will happen if you go to a quilter or us? We will have to work it out. I can work some pretty bad borders out, but what happens on those last 2 rows is it looks like I came into work, or Christy came into work, or Doreen, or Lori, whoever's doing the quilt. Well, I usually have to do the two ends when it's that radically, your borders are that bad off, with someone else. It's usually Jill and I, Doreen and I, or Lori and I, because we know where that design is going. But it has a disfigurement to the last two borders. I mean, the last two rows when we're quilting it. And if you're giving it away, you know, and then what happens is it gets all this fullness down here at the bottom of the border, the last row, and it kind of looks like we pushed it together. There's been some wrinkles we haven't, waves that we haven't been able to totally get out on the sides. And I'll tell you this as a rule of thumb: lay your quilt on a flat surface, which is the floor, if you've got nothing else, because a lot of us don't have a lot of space to lay stuff out. People don't lay it out because they have dogs and they say it'll get dog hair. It's going to get something on it anyway, so lay it out. When you lay it out on a flat surface, you're going to see at that point, if you've ironed it good, what's wrong with it. So wavy borders is caused by your improper measuring the quilt or the inconsistency of your 1/4 inch seam allowance. And a lot of times people just keep adding borders to get their quilt big enough. But we wanted to share that with you this morning because borders are important, because at the Sewing Gallery we want to make you a better quilter, a better piecer, and we want you to come to class if at all possible. Our next class will be March the 4th, which is, you get to choose the fabric, the upcoming. Tracy from Moda will be here with all the collections, and I hope that you'll come out. It'll be from 10 to 2. You'll pick your top 3 that you want to use, and then you will be part of choosing the next quarter with fabric. So we hope that you'll come out. We're excited. I'm excited for you to get to meet Tracy. And then we're going to have a virtual dime class, which you can register online. Mary has set that up very easy. It's on March the 23rd at 11 o'clock. That's on a Thursday. You'll have the weekend to watch it, but you need to get signed up now so that Dime knows that in West Virginia we do watch for education, and it's free. Can you beat free? I love free. Everybody loves free. And then our next upcoming class is the ribbon candy quilt, and that's, the pattern is put out by Doug Leckey. You will buy a jelly roll in 2.5 yards, which next week we'll promote it more. But I've just had to promote this wonderful Kimberbell stuff because she just keeps giving, and Jill keeps making stuff for me to show online. But we hope you'll sign up early. We had several people that waited to 2 or 3 days before our last stacked cupcakes. There was no openings. You know, we can't put you in here. It's not about money. I need to be able to walk around and do my commercials, so I can't do it if we've got 20 people in here. But sign up online, which our website makes it easy. You got to buy a pattern, not a copied pattern. That would get you thrown out of class, so you know. Or we'll ask you not to come back, but you have to buy the pattern. You have to buy your jelly roll. You have to buy your background fabric at our store to attend this class. Lori will be putting the basic things that you need to come to sewing class. We're just going to start putting that on every class as far as supplies, so that it helps you and you can kind of do a checklist. You can print it off, whatever you need to do so that you know. But sewing class, you know, you bring what works for you. That means you got to bring your cord to plug it into the sewing machine, to plug it into the extension cord that sits on top of the table. Then you got to have a cutting mat, a rotary cutter, you got to have pins, and the list goes on. A pair of scissors,
thread, bobbins.
Thread, bobbins. I mean, that's standard with what you would do if you're at home, but we'll make you a list and put it on there. We hope you will join us. We hope that you will watch our website, and a thanks to shout out to those who took advantage of our nice sale that we had on Presidential Weekend. Yay for you for your savings. We love to save money, but watch us on Thursday morning. Check out our Facebook. Check out our website. Mary is constantly helping me promote the newest, hottest items, whether it's on Facebook or whether it's on our website. But we're here to help you. I want to say one last thing. I've had a couple customers that, let's pretend this is a pattern, and they say shipping is $9.99. The pattern costs $10, okay? I understand $9.99 is a lot to give for a pattern, but guess what the sewing gallery does for you if you order? And I look at that order because I'm the girl that does them. I'm real active in my business, always. I know my numbers. I know 99% of the people that walk through this door because I care about you and I want to get to know what your needs are so that I can bring stuff in that you like. I've had 2 customers that says I'm not paying $9.99 for a pattern. Okay, that's fine. You can call the store. I can send it out in an envelope. But if it don't get to you, whereas I send it priority mail, it gets to you, so you pay more. Even for a small envelope with priority mail, it's $8 at least, and depending on the weight of it. But guess what we do at the sewing gallery? If you spend that on a $10 pattern, something is going in your envelope free. Because I know I'm not trying to gouge you for the $9.99 shipping, but I make sure that your shipping is basically free once I put something in it for the cost of it. I don't not give you something and value your business because I understand, but we can't vary in prices with shipping. Shopify will not let us, and our point of sale system will not let us, but I try to give back to you. But you know, when you're ugly and you send an email, you know, you need to call the store and find out a little bit more instead of shooting a ugly email. You know, that just makes me tense up and go, did they think I was going to do that to them? And I understand what we're finding in business as a business owner now. We ordered these 30 bolts of fabric that just came in, and you would think $60, $75 for shipping. Well, when I looked at the bottom of the receipt from the company, for 30 bolts of fabric, it cost us $148.76. I went, ouch. So a lot of these large companies is building profit into their shipping. But at the sewing gallery, I'm not trying to build profit in to your shipping cost. And you say $9.99, okay? It's going to cost at least $8.50 to $8.70 on most shipping. All right, somebody's helping me that I'm paying hourly. It's costing us with tape. I'm buying bags, plastic bags, because I try to put them in plastic if I can. So I know I'm not gouging you, but I felt I was gouged on this 30 bolts of fabric for $146.78. But at the sewing gallery, we want to ship it to you, and we're fair with the price with whatever we do. We hope you will shop with us. If you feel $10 for a pattern's too much for the $9.99 shipping, just keep in mind, I do the packing, I do the shipping, and I make sure you get something extra in there worth your $9.99. So at Sewing Gallery, because we're a small business, mom and pop store, we want your business. So we hope you'll shop with us. Lori and I appreciate you listening to us talk about the borders. Hopefully we'll have the border information, the benefits of the quilting on our website, and the 5 golden rules of quilting so that you can refer back to the borders, and that'll make you go to our website and possibly see what's new if you haven't seen it. And we hope you have a good weekend and it stays warm. Thank you.